So as Felix mentioned, I am close friends to both Chris and Beatrix, lucky me. But I'm officially on Beatrix's side, but even though I am, I'm just going to share a bit about both of them. For some reason, both Jen and Greg in their speeches mentioned that I would share some kind of story. No pressure, guys, thanks. I'll do my best. So first, Chris. So I think I've known Chris for something like, I think 6 years-ish. And if there's one thing that I'll say about Chris, it's that he can be a bit of a tough nut to crack sometimes. Actually, that's all the time. So one of his groomsmen over there, Eric, the three of us hang out with him pretty often, and we often joke about how you can never really tell whether or not Chris is being sarcastic. If you're friends with him, if you talk with him before, you'll know what I mean. It's not because he's bad at sarcasm. Beatrix is pretty bad at sarcasm, actually. So when she is typing or texting and she's trying to be sarcastic, she has to indicate that she's being sarcastic with a slash and then an S, so that we all know that she's not being serious. I think some of us have experienced that before. So anyway, so Chris isn't bad at sarcasm like B is, but because through a combination of being dry and a bit of a pessimist and maybe kind of witty, it just sounds like he's always kind of sarcastic, even when he's being perfectly normal. So, how was your day today, Chris? Oh, great. Great as in you hated all the humans around you like you normally do, or great as in actually great? And so you kind of see, because of this, it can be a little difficult sometimes to tell what he's thinking, or you just have to know him well enough to really figure out what he really means. So it was a really pleasant surprise when I was having a tough time with things just earlier this year. And when Chris had heard about it, he reached out to me. It wasn't just a, hey buddy, praying for you and I'm here for you if you need me kind of thing. He sent me a really long essay full of wise words and advice on top of letting me know that he's praying for me and that he's here for me. And he just wanted to make sure that I wouldn't get lost in my thoughts and lose sight of the bigger picture of things. It was definitely an emotional time for me, and when I saw his message, I was definitely really touched. And I even did that thing where I kind of teared. I was at work, I was in the office, and then he sent me that message. And I did that thing where you tear up and water gets in your eyes. That kind of happened. So I'm not really sure, Chris, that I ever told you how much I appreciated you reaching out to me that day. But the conversation we had following it, I really appreciate it. So I guess now you know. See, that's the thing about Chris. It definitely takes some time to figure him out, to poke and drill, and maybe even grind your way through those layers. And if you think about it, I mean, we're all like that to some extent. But once you do get through those layers, you'll find that there's a deep well of wisdom, smarts, and above all, a deep sense of caring for his loved ones. For both his parents, for his brothers, obviously for Beatrix and her family, and I guess me too, I found out. And all of his friends, of course. So, Beatrix, I think you did pretty okay. I wouldn't say anything more than that. V. So I've known V for us, actually, sorry, before I get onto that, can we get a cheer for how beautiful V looked today and tonight? She was walking down the aisle this morning, and I was kind of trying to peek around and look, and I literally actually almost cried a few times. Probably more than Chris, sorry. So I've known Beatrix for as long as I've known Chris, if not longer. Over the years, she's become one of my closest and dearest friends. One of the first people I turn to whenever there's something important I need to ask advice for. Things like what color tie I need to wear to a wedding, or how to use Instagram. But on top of that, actually serious things. She has been like a big sister to me, another big sister. Doing things like baking me cakes for my birthday and dropping off origami presents. Always lending me a ear. What did I write here? Yeah. And always lending me an ear. Just that, all the hardships that I've had over the past 5-6 years. Again, one of the first people that I always turn to. So I could So I've been telling people while I was writing this speech that I wrote more about Chris than I did about V, even though I'm on her side of the party. I could actually go on and on about just how much V has come to mean to me over the years. But I'm going to take a different tack and tell you about what I've seen from Chris and V as a couple. And I think that will give you an idea about what special people both of these individuals are. The greatest thing that I've seen while around Chris and V for so many years is that they weren't just dating as boyfriend and girlfriend, they weren't just starting marriage, and they weren't just each other's better halves. They transform one another. When Chris is with Beatrix, being with her transforms him into a better version of himself. And when V is with Chris, being with him transforms her into a better version of herself. And that's not to say that either of them are lacking in a particular way. In fact, I would suggest that it is in those ways and areas in which they're lacking that they're able to fill with their love and truly transform each other into better people. To me, that speaks volumes about who they are individually and how beautiful their love for each other has become. And that tells me why I already know that their children will be growing up in a wonderful family. Side note, they say they want to wait for a short while before they start a family, but I think between the 90 of us, if we peer pressure them enough, we can probably speed up that process a bit. Chris, V, for 8 years, 1 month, and 19 days. You've shown everyone in this room what it means not just to love, but to love and be loved in a transformative way. Tomorrow will be day one of doing that for the rest of your lives. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I love you both.